Dude, it's been back from the dead, man. How many weeks has it been? Dude, it's at least been like 3 or 4. Like it's been a while because of me looking for houses, getting a house, closing, moving. But unless something catastrophic happens, I should not miss another podcast for the rest of the year. No, I feel like literally not wanting to come on is probably enough of a reason to miss the podcast. You sound like Skeksis. Oh, then that's all that's important. I'll just take over. So welcome to Movies Are
I
Terrible.
haven't
Check out the
spoke up. Can they hear
Patreon.
me?
Yeah. Welcome also Tristan from Martial Arts Film Freak. That was the only show that I've ever plugged on this podcast, and it's well deserved. It's someone I actually do enjoy their content and go check out.
Thank you. I try very hard. Sometimes, not all the time.
It seems like you put in a ton of work, man. Watching your stuff, I was like, you put in a lot of work, man. How long does it take you to do an actual video?
A standard review, 3 hours of editing, maybe. One of like the Kung Fu Essential videos, far longer, way too
Yeah,
long.
I was gonna say those. I watched the Kung Fu Essential, and like that must have taken a long time.
It like the one I just did one talking about like every movie I watched in 2020. That was like 2 weeks.
Was it all martial arts in 2020, or was it?
No, it was a bunch of stuff. It was probably only a fair amount of martial arts stuff peppered in there.
I've been slacking on my martial arts. I need to. Okay, quick fire, good martial arts recommendation in recent years that you would recommend.
In recent years,
Yes.
well, you got just about anything Scott Adkins does. So you got Accident Man, Avengement, Triple Threat, Skin Trade, where you've got Dolph Lundgren, Tony Jaa, and Michael J. White. And shocker, Tony Jaa and Dolph Lundgren steal the show. Michael J. White was fine.
I'm sold on Tony Jaa,
Yeah,
Dolph Lundgren, and
dude,
Michael
they
J.
go
White.
at it, and it was like it's great.
What's that one called?
Skin Trade.
Skin Trade is a weird name, but I dig
Yeah,
it.
there's a Korean movie called No Tears for the Dead that doesn't get enough love. That's because everyone when they think of Korean
No
movies, they go
Tears.
Villainess, Man from Nowhere, and Old Boy. And No Tears for the Dead is like the super underrated Korean movie from like maybe 2014.
In my experience, Korean films, the ones that are usually the most hyped up, there are so many better Korean films out there.
I mean, they're still like those three movies, The Villainess, Man from Nowhere, and Old Boy, are like your A plus top quality movies. And those are the ones that just overshadow everything else because that's the ones that people want to talk about.
No Tears for the Dead. I'm adding it to my queue right now. I'm gonna
Let
go
me,
buy this movie and watch it.
Interject real quick. I know that Caleb and Tristan can both hear me, but let me know down in the chat if you're able to hear me at this point. Mark McKeever noticed your new setup, Caleb. What are you working with over there now?
So now I actually have a computer desk, which is nice. I got an actual microphone holder, so I'm not just in my bedroom of my tiny old place, since now I have an actual office. There's nothing in here. I do have my comics, though. I have a box of comics. That's the only thing I have in this office right now.
Can I tell you that your professionality, taking over there for a second, it offended me deeply. I am appalled by your ability to host this show, and don't get any ideas. It will never happen again.
Take it all over. So here's one of my prized possessions. That is Hulk issue 2. First
Nice.
appearance of the Green Hulk.
Holy shit.
So, yeah. And I have a ton of different other things. I got first appearance of Bullseye, Punisher, Wolverine, all of them.
So this is just random trivia. If I'm not mistaken, it was difficult to print gray at the time of the release of the first Hulk, so they went with green because it was like easier at the printing press.
Pretty much, they just walked in and asked Stan Lee what color, and he goes, green. He said he didn't think about it at all.
Because the gray was hard to print?
Yeah, because the gray was
Okay,
hard to print. They're
okay.
like, this isn't going to work, so we need a new color. Pick one. He goes, green. And he goes, I didn't think about it at all.
No.
And now there's a purple Hulk, a red Hulk.
And in
What's-
the original Lou Ferrigno show, they wanted to make him red. The director did, and it was also supposed to be the guy from Jaws from 007.
Yeah, 007.
Yeah, and then the son or daughter, I think it was the son of the director, was like, "That's not Hulk. That giant, skinny."
He's
red
big, but
guy."
yeah, he's lean.
Yeah.
So, real quick, let me kick things off. Let's backtrack for a second and just let you guys know you can find this podcast streaming live on YouTube every Thursday, 6 p.m. CST. That is Central Standard Time for those of you guys that aren't in the know there. Available on all podcasting apps. The next day, you can check us out. Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff available every Friday. Stick around to the end to find out who is walking away with a film from last week's not raffle, because there are clearly fine print rules against things like that. So this is not a raffle. I'm just giving a movie to one of my friends, and we will let you guys know which of those friends I pulled from a random generator here a little bit later on the show. We introduced you to our guests, and as Caleb said, make sure you're checking out Martial Arts Film Freak. It really is a great channel. I'm always fascinated to talk to people who do more niche content, because as much as we all love Star Wars, as much as we all love Marvel, it's just really cool to see film fans that kind of have a lane of their specialized interest. To me, that speaks to a level of authenticity in a platform that sometimes isn't always the most original. So I do appreciate that, Tristan.
It's niche as hell.
It's got to be difficult to find an audience, I imagine, but I'm sure when you do, they're going to be a loyal one, because how many places can you go on YouTube where there are, people doing that? And do you know the answer to that? Are there a bunch?
Well, that's the reason I started the channel, is because the answer was none.
Oh,
I tried. I looked.
Very smart.
I watch your Chris Stuckmans, your Jeremy Johns. And I was like, oh, when are they going to review, I think at the time, Ip Man 3 came out. And that seemed like a fairly big release to me. So I was like, I kept commenting on videos like, review Ip Man 3, review Ip Man 3. Nobody was ever talking about these movies. So I was like, guess I'll do it myself.
You like them? Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I love it.
That's my
Caleb.
favorite type of content. I love stuff like you said, you can find anyone reviewing Marvel, all that. They're out there. I love stuff because of the type of movies I watch that are more like that anyway. So that was the whole reason I checked out. I'm a huge martial arts fan. There's no one else I've ever seen on YouTube. That's the whole reason.
The only other stuff you really find is, and there's a few small channels like me. There's a guy who's also a really good Instagram page to follow. It's a Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society, something like that, something around that. Cool channel. He's my area of the classic Hong Kong stuff. My knowledge is not as deep as his. So if you really want that huge, deep Hong Kong lore, go to him. But also come to me. But yeah, there's some guys like him. But other than that, you mostly just get random people reacting to fight scenes.
Even that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, no,
while
I was
we're on
I was
the topic of watching stuff over the last week. Oh, by the way, if you or anyone you know, This goes out to the panel. This goes out to everybody in the chat right now. If you or anybody you know is a big Game of Thrones fan, let me know. Get up with me. Let me know. I need some competitors. I wrote this really elaborate game of trivia for Game of Thrones. Yo, my dog just now farted. And I am really excited about recording it for you guys. However, right now I don't have too many takers. McLovin, thank you very much for the 22 kroner super chat for your 6 swag today, Jeremy. Watch Euphoria. Those are 2 different thoughts, I imagine. Not because I have 6 swag, watch Euphoria, but just thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate that.
Maybe people with 6 swag do watch Euphoria. Maybe they are.
I thought that your 6 swag was inspired by Euphoria.
Ooh, I haven't seen it, but it might be. Does somebody wear flannel shirt, white bandana, nerdy glasses? No. Right.
Oh no, that's the Colorado suit right there.
So on that note, what have you guys been watching? Tristan, have you seen anything in the last week that kind of stuck out to you?
I've mostly been watching older stuff. The only new thing I just watched was, do y'all watch many of like the DC animated movies?
Yeah.
They just did one. I'll pull it out from back here.
I said that really confidently. I've seen the 2 Justice League animated movies.
There's a lot of really good ones.
Too.
There's a lot of really good ones with really good fight scenes. Batman versus Robin is my favorite. There's a fight scene between Batman and Talon that is like incredible. But they just did one called Batman Soul of the Dragon. And it's essentially Batman teaming up with characters who are 100% supposed to be Jim Kelly and Bruce Lee. But it's Bronze Tiger and a guy named like Richard Dragon, but they're voiced by Mark Dacascos and Michael Jai White.
I wonder if that's on
and
HBO
it's okay.
Max.
It's okay. It's not as good as some of the other DC animated stuff, but it's pretty good.
Have you seen Hush?
I didn't see that one.
I've seen a couple of them. Caleb, have you ever watched any of those?
No, I've read Hush. Hush is incredible. I didn't even know they made an animated one. I'm not a big fan of the animated DC films.
They fizzled out. They started doing like, let's just add cuss words and blood and make it cool, and it took away from a lot of the later ones. Even like the last one that ended it was like Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, and it's like, watch all your favorite heroes get torn to shreds, and it's like, I'm fine. I don't want to do that.
That's very DC. It feels like very on brand with them right now. I will say the Harley Quinn animated series is very,
that's a
very
great
good.
show.
Yeah, it is.
That's a very good show.
It's a lot
Is
of
that
fun.
on Max?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And I think it's 2 seasons, and every episode is incredibly watchable. It's not anything super deep, but the humor is really good. The voice cast is really good, and I like the relationship between Ivy and Harley in it. It's pretty cool. But Caleb, passing it over to you, my friend. Have you seen anything good over the last week?
I literally haven't done anything but unpack and play the occasional video game.
All right.
I just played really late to it, What Remains of Edith Finch, which is incredible. Story-driven, quote-unquote, walking simulator. Really enjoyed that. I'm playing a game called Metamorphosis. It's pretty good right now. And then I've been catching up on Attack on Titan because I watched Attack on Titan the first season when it came out. Then they took them 4 billion years to make another season.
I remember that.
So now apparently, season 4 is airing. So I am starting at the beginning. I'm about 15 episodes in. It's every bit as good as I remember it being, and I cannot wait to get past season 1 to the stuff I haven't seen.
I finally watched Possessor last night. I know that you saw it a couple months back.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was about 5 minutes in. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied about it. About 5 minutes in, I was like, I don't know if I'm up to it right now, because it is just heavy, dude. Oh my god,
it is a heavy film. The entire film to the end.
It's just so nihilistic, so grim, so violent. And I read an interview with David Cronenberg's son, Brandon Cronenberg, who's the director of the film. It's his second film, so his sophomore effort. And he basically said, you know, what is disturbing to me is watching PG-13 movies where 100 people die and there's no blood and everybody just celebrates it and enjoys it. I think that violence should have an impact. I think it should be gross and give you, certain feelings. So I think you nailed that. I actually, I walked away from it not really sure because it is just endlessly bleak, but I didn't stop thinking about it, and I'm talking about it 24 hours later. I think it's a very, very good film that I'm not excited to revisit. What about you?
I kind of ended up on the same exact page. Very, very good film. There's part of me that's like it's a 7 out of 10. There's another part of me that's like it's a 9 out of 10. Like I go
100%.
back and forth between those two. I think it is a great film for like film geeks who like something different, like something dark, and I love the pacing of it. That was one of the things I really did enjoy. I thought it's an incredibly slow paced film, but sometimes slow paced can be too slow paced. I was actually rewatching The Godfather. My wife's in college, and which means I'm in film school. I'm in film, taking her film class is what that really
Nice.
means. And so I was rewatching The Godfather, and that is a slow movie.
So is that the first thing that she watched in the class?
No, we also watched.
Citizen Kane.
No, we didn't actually. I thought that would have been a must-have. It's a movie that takes place in Vienna. God, I can't remember. It's like takes place in post-war Vienna. It was okay. It's a typical film noir, a lot of Dutch angle filming, a lot of heavy shadows. It was interesting, but it wasn't like incredible.
This is the original Thor movie. Got it. Tristan, real quick, Brotherhood of the Wolf, is that a martial arts movie?
That's the Mark Dacascos one, right? I have never seen it. I need to. As far as I know, it's just I think that it's like not quite a martial arts movie. It's just the fact that Mark Dacascos is in it and gets a couple fight scenes makes it in kind of a martial arts movie.
There you go, Patrick Stewart. That one was on the house, my friend. I saw that one out the corner of my eye, and I was kind of curious of the answer myself because there are a couple of very elaborately staged choreography fight sequences in it. It's really hard to put my thumb on what kind of genre you would call that. Caleb?
Which one is this? The Brotherhood of the Wolf?
It's a French film called like Le Pacte de Luc or something. Le Pacte de Luc came out in the early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
And it's the story of that Javelian lion or whatever. This
I have seen this movie.
If there's a Mark Dacascos movie y'all need to see, and I'm sorry I'm taking over your show with martial arts movies.
Please.
There is a movie called Drive, and I'm going to keep pulling down movies. There's a movie called Drive from the like mid 90s. It was supposed to be a Jackie Chan movie, and I think Jackie Chan was probably doing like Rumble in the Bronx at the time. And so they got Mark Dacascos, and it's soon getting a Blu-ray release, which a bunch of martial arts fans have been like craving for years. Like, we need Blu-ray, we need Drive on Blu-ray. And every time you say Drive, people usually think Ryan Gosling, but no, when I say Drive, I mean Mark Dacascos. This movie rules.
Thank you very much
This
for the
is the one with,
99-cent super chats, Patrick Stewart. I appreciate that, my man.
With the guy from The Sixth Man. What was his name?
It's got Kadeem Hardison and Brittany Murphy.
Yes, I have seen this film. This is a random deep cut, but I have seen this film. Don't remember it at all, but I just remember seeing it.
There's definitely some cheesy moments, but the fight scenes are 100%.
To me, that's martial arts, though. That's like kind of what I like about martial arts is I go in expecting a lot of cheese and camp and cool fight scenes, and that's enough for me.
My buddy and Random Andy's channel in here, I did see a couple moments ago that he is watching old Godzilla movies. I'm really curious what you think about those down in the chat section. Because kind of to Caleb's point about maybe being cheesy movies that we enjoy regardless, that one is definitely a franchise full of cheese. So let me know what you think about that. Yes, McLovin, I have been repeatedly smashing myself in the nuts with bricks ever since we watched those videos a couple months back. I'm glad you asked.
That's what I've been doing.
You brought that back, yeah.
The entire time I was gone. That's really why I was gone. I wasn't moving or anything. I was just healing up from nut smashes with bricks.
So we do have some movie news that we're going to talk about, including a Western-influenced Dracula film brought to us from Universal Pictures, and there's a little bit of Spider-Man 3 news that was released, an interview done with Tom Holland. We're also going to talk about this hashtag RIP Chris Pratt phenomenon that's been going on the past couple of days and what that's all about. But first, while you're here, do me a favor, and I'm sure many of you have done it already, but take a second to smash that little thumbs up button for us. And if you ever have topics that you want to hear us discuss, just message me on Patreon, and as of right now, I'll take suggestions from any tier. So if you're $5, $10, $20 a month, any of those tiers, you can have your topics discussed right here on the podcast. I've been watching a channel called Tubi. It's a free streaming service. I'd kind of put it in the same category as Crackle or maybe Pluto, but it's got a whole channel dedicated to Full Moon Pictures. Tristan, are you familiar with Puppet Master or Subspecies or any of those 90s direct-to-video horror movies?
They sound familiar. I'm sure
Okay.
I've never seen them.
Doll Man versus the Demonic Toys.
that's
Evil
a
Bong.
Cinematic masterpiece.
Immediate no.
Caleb, are you familiar with that?
Oh, of course I am. I grew up
I love
watching
it.
all of that cheesy, horrible, especially a Puppet Master series. But Dollman's great.
Every night, that's what I'm watching before I go to bed. Is some either something from Full Moon or which was Charles Band's production company. Charles Band is one of the kings of B movies. But in addition to that, they have a channel that's completely dedicated to Shout Factory distributed movies. So we got a bunch of fun old episodes
Factory is
of
amazing.
Elvira. Yeah, it's awesome. It's just an eclectic mix of bad movies. It really speaks my language. That's where I found the cinematic achievement that is known as Thor End of Days, which is...
I remember seeing that at Walmart all the time.
Really?
I always remember, because those movies are so not popular, widespread,
Yes.
of like horrible, closely named and like similar fonts.
Yes.
Like there's the Thor one. There was one I used to work at a video store. It sold a bunch more, but there was also movie rentals. And there was a movie called Independence Day, but it was Independence hyphen, or not even hyphen, I don't know, but it was like possessive. Independence Day. And so this dude comes up to me, he's like, "Is this the new Independence Day?" The second one had just come out. And I'm like, "No, this is not the second Independence Day."
Yeah.
Why would you think that?
Yeah, like what about that name, Independence Day, would make you think it was Independence Day? There's one called Transmorphers, Atlantic
Yeah, Transmorphers is a big one.
Rim. Caleb?
Have you ever seen some of those B movie knockoffs and then you're like, this really isn't any worse than the actual film?
Yeah, I think I
Or
enjoyed
sometimes they're better.
watching Thor more than Thor the Dark World, I will say, but for different reasons. Random Andy's channel, thank you for the $2 super chat. He says, "Bro, I am part enjoying it and part screaming in regards to the Godzilla in regards to the Godzilla franchise and not this podcast."
Hopefully he gets to Mecha Godzilla and he can see the genius storytelling of how Mecha Godzilla is created. Because I don't think a lot of people realize the backplot of what brought him about, and it's incredibly dumb.
Yeah,
And I love every part of it.
Was that one Aliens? Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
that's the alien.
It was Aliens? Yeah.
Yes.
Spoilies. I'm sure everybody's really like, dude, come on, you're spoiling Godzilla
spoiling
versus
Godzilla.
Mechagodzilla.
Oh no.
All right. So yeah, that's cool. Check out Tubi. Not a sponsor. Wish they were though, man. If I could get a sponsor, it would be Tubi.
You'd want to be. Tubi would probably be the most fitting sponsor.
Yeah, it would. It would. All right, guys, are you ready? Segue. Weird news. Here we go. North Carolina man hits 2 deer with a new car, then hits $2 million in lottery. Oh, wow. What a crazy turnaround of a otherwise pretty awful day. So this guy was, let's see, Anthony Doe of Leland had an accident on his way to work. The North
spell his
Carolina
last name?
Dowe, but I
Dang it.
see
So his
you.
name, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Like, really, his name is Doe?
Which is also very close to dose, which is 2, and then dough, which is money. Dude, they're working
It's
on
also
levels.
DOE, which is a female deer.
Yeah, correct. All right. So he was on his way home to work. He got in a car accident, so he went back home, got into bed, and went to sleep. Man was about to lose his job. There's no question about it. He just said, "Fuck my life. I'm going home and going to sleep." He woke up afterwards. Oh, crap. Didn't even think about that.
Remaining meeting 9 minutes. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Oh,
How do I
man.
upgrade? Let me put in my card real quick.
You got 9 minutes to do it. So he was going home. He hit the deer, and then the next day he won.
The next day,
Here, I'll pull it up.
a couple of hours later, he woke up. He checked the 2 lottery tickets that he had bought. Where can I send this to you?
I got it.
Okay.
So yeah, you sent me one earlier. Let me get into it while you're
Let me put
getting
my
this.
credit card
While
information
you're putting
up
your
on
credit
phone.
card in. So
While y'all
you
are
know,
doing this,
stop the podcast.
thanks Patrick Stewart, who just subbed and commented on one of my videos.
Love it. Hell yeah, dude.
Patrick's
Patrick's the best. Let's see.
Okay, so Andy Doe of Leland had an accident on his way to work. Then it ruined his day, so he went back home, went to sleep. And then, quote, then I woke up and checked my tickets. I checked the fourth ticket and saw 4, and the next number, and the next number, and the next number, he said. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Reading quotes is always the worst. His winning Mega Millions ticket matched all 5 white balls. That's odd. 1 out of 12.6 million. All right. Dad took the ticket, won $1 million. The prize doubled when the 2-time Mega Flyer ticket was drawn. I went and showed my mom and dad, and everybody was happy. He claimed his prize. It just feels great, he said. I'm going to fix things on my mother and father's house and get my car fixed, pay it off, and pay my niece's car off.
And then save the rest. That's pretty legit, right?
That's good. Yeah. This guy ain't going to blow it. He could have invested in GameStop and short selling. That's what he could have done.
Speaking of which, I think that's a good transition. Actually, it was either Tristan or you that brought it to my attention a little bit ago that there's still some stuff going on in the GameStop saga. Anyone?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going on still. It's just sort of continuing from where it was. There's more developments in like people who have like stopped people from buying stocks. But like the highlight, I guess the bright light so far, other than billionaires having a few less billions, is a lot of the people who have like gotten a butt ton of money from this are like one or two guys like just bought a bunch of Nintendo Switches and donated them to children's hospitals.
That's really cool.
There's a couple people who are like, yeah, my parents were in medical debt, so I used the money to get them out of debt. People paying off student loans with it. So there's a couple little bright lights in there.
That's awesome. As someone who is totally not up on the stock market, so take my take with a grain of salt. I just think it's funny how you're seeing the rounding of the wagons, for trust funds right now. Mm. And it's like, oh, they manipulated the market. It's like, well, short selling is pretty much manipulating the market too. Mm.
And then there's like fun videos of like old rich dudes crying, saying this isn't fair. It's like, well, I mean, it's pretty fair and it's pretty funny.
Well, and the thing that cracked me up is too, this just shows you, in my opinion, Little Rat, how no one really cares about the little man, because both sides of the political aisle, CNN, Fox News, they were really mad about this and really going hard for trust funds, And I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh, so it's a problem when other people manipulate the market, but not when you guys do it.
Everybody's in someone's pocket.
Yeah. Now, while Jeremy looks like he's still struggling to read the digits. Those glasses are not working. Let me pull up the other story. What other stories do we got going in the weird news section? We got Texas sends out wild Amber Alert for vicious Chucky doll and his missing son. So this comes to us via HuffPost. So this is Texas mistakenly sends out Amber Alert. And it's a picture of Chucky and that creepy other Chucky doll hybrid thing.
Son, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how this happens mistakenly. So the message described Chucky as the star of the 1988 Chills classic Child's Play as the 28-year-old redhead suspect in the disappearance of his 6-pound, 5-year-old son, Glenn. Dad clocked in at 16 pounds and 3 feet tall in the description. Chucky, according to the alert, was last seen wearing blue denim overalls with a multicolored striped shirt and wielding a huge kitchen knife. His race was listed as doll, which is the best part of this whole thing.
Shit.
So it was sent out via email 3 separate times to subscribers of the Texas Alert System. The State Department of Public Safety later issued a statement saying that the alerts were sent in error. No shit. You sent out a Chucky one. The alert was a result of a test malfunction. We apologize for the confusion, and this may have caused and are diligently working to ensure this does not happen again. Oh, so I guess that they were probably goofing around as a test.
Yeah, I mean, it just tells me that they got a sense of humor. Because, I mean, it's clearly something that they have set up as just like every now and again we test this. I don't know. Maybe they send it to like a small group who works there just to make sure it's properly sending. And they just accidentally sent it to everybody.
That's what it sounds like, which reading the story before just reading the headline actually makes it sound way better. I kind of like these people because that's clearly what it was. At first I was like, how does this happen by accident? But yeah, they were testing the system. They made a joke of it and it got out. which, you know, I guess if you're going to get an Amber Alert, it's the best type of Amber Alert you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably somebody out there who's a bit whacked out, who's gonna open it and probably freak out. But for the most part, I think people will open it and just have a laugh.
Am I the only one who actually turned off all those alerts on my phone? I probably should turn them on.
I don't think I didn't know you could. I thought that was like a
No,
legal
you can
thing.
get in there and you can turn them off in the settings.
Did you jailbreak something?
No, it's if you're on Android. I forgot how to do it, but I know you can do it because I did it. Because my wife's will always go off, and I never hear mine, and it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I'm an iPhone, so I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you may not be
get
able
'em.
to.
No, I've never been able to get rid of those notifications, and I know that it's like really important and helpful to people, but it's always in like freaking Miami or somewhere, many miles away from here.
I don't know. It's just like, I know it's really helpful to some people, but it is a mild inconvenience to me.
I think it's funny when like you're in an area full of people and everybody's goes off.
Oh yeah. Like you're in an airport and all of a sudden everyone's does, or you're at
I think
work.
it happened. I was working at like GameStop, and so I think it was during the holidays, so the store was pretty packed. And then it was the loudest noise because everybody's little Amber Alert tone was going off.
I am in so much trouble, dude. I just now tried it and it said unknown error. So y'all just keep enjoying each other's company.
Keep vamping. Yeah, that's what we're gonna keep doing.
What else is going on? I think that there's probably. You mentioned the silhouette challenge.
This
earlier.
is something I've been wanting to talk about because I was unaware of the silhouette challenge because I am not on TikTok. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on anything.
Tristan, are you on TikTok?
I'm on the TikToks my girlfriend sends me.
Okay.
Okay.
Good enough.
So the only reason that I found out about it was I was reading all these articles about. So for people who are unaware, the silhouette challenge is where women dance naked or in their lingerie with a backlight behind them.
Love it already.
And they put a red filter, so they're just like a black shadow light silhouette, and they dance naked and twerk and all this stuff. Well, because it's the internet and people have video editing software, people downloaded the videos, just played with the stuff, and then now you can watch them dance, naked for it. And the thing that cracked me up, and this is probably going to make me sound horrible, is there were all
this
these
is
articles.
going to be the thing that makes you sound horrible. Go ahead.
No, this is probably the worst thing I've said on it. No,
Shit.
is there were all these things about like these poor women and look at these pervy men, which I agree. These people have too much time on their hands to do this. But at the same time, like you're the one who tweeted out a video of you dancing naked.
But they weren't naked in their light. They didn't know they were naked. I can see where you're coming from. You got to be careful and protective of your own shit. But they didn't know that, like you said, that pervos are going to go into fucking After Effects or like.
But here's the other thing. So I believe in the reverse test. Anytime you think something, you go, okay, I'm going to reverse it with another group. So let's say I tweeted out a video with a red filter of me just like
flopping
shaking my thing around, doing the helicopter. The next day, everyone unfiltered it and did that. Would you be on this podcast going, man, poor Caleb? Or you'd be like, dude, you did just tweet out a picture of your dick.
Oh, no, if it was you, I would be laughing my fucking ass off, bro.
Because it would be my fault. I would have done it.
I mean, it's essentially just, it's a huge risk that people who didn't know about, like, Photoshop took.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I wouldn't do it, but it is definitely a huge risk to, like, toe that line.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Take your meetings from basic to pro. You guys still there? Am I still live is the other question, because I can just send. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comments section. I'm just going to shoot them another Zoom meeting. As long as I'm still live. As long as I'm still here. Tyler, can you hear me, though? Can you still hear me? Hey, guys. What up? All right, I'm going to go ahead and just invite them back. It could have been a lot worse, but I feel like it wasn't super smooth either, so I'm going to have to upgrade when I get done with this. Copy invite link. Okay, now I'm going to go over here to my email. How you guys doing? Hope you're all enjoying the show so far. All right, and Roddy and Tristan. All right, let me see what's going on in the super chat real quick while I get everybody back in business. What's up, Nick? Chief Supreme, we have audio. Chief, we should talk Game of Thrones, man. I would love to get you to somehow, in some capacity, participate because you are one of the few, diehard Game of Thrones fans that I know other than myself. And considering that I wrote the questions, it would make the game very not fun. If I was just playing with myself. Hey, I emailed you a new link. I feel like a Star Trek person when I talk into my watch. Does that mean I'm old? Caleb. I just emailed you a new link. My voice is freaking blown out, dude. I recorded so many ads today. All right. I am about to do the silhouette challenge. I'm really glad that you brought that up. We're going to see how this goes here real quick. How do I backlight myself? It is a Mecha Godzilla. I'm so glad you asked about that. Very little articulation. And what's cooking, boys?
Wow, man, the silhouette challenge just got real.
Yeah, it did.
We went full silhouette.
I gotta switch the gallery view. Booyaka. I think the show's going good so far, though. How you guys feeling?
Quite positive.
Good.
It's very, very positive.
Oh man. Where were we at? What were we talking? Oh yeah, silhouette challenge. So I don't know, Caleb. I get where you're coming from. I think there's a difference between laughing at people though, and shaming them, and that's the line I guess that I want to draw. Is like, yeah, I mean, it is kind of. I know you personally, so I'm gonna laugh at every one of your failures for the rest of our lives. But for I don't know, just random people that were like, okay, like how do we recontextualize this? Is there another equal?
I think of like Whoopi Goldberg shaming
me too, constantly.
Bella, what was it, Bella Thorne? Like Bella Thorne had her own personal stuff hacked and leaked, and then Whoopi Goldberg was like, "Well, I know it wouldn't happen if you just didn't do it in the first place."
It's a good point. Yeah, I actually remember that, and she's right. She is right, but it's also like.
But that's hacked and leaked. That isn't tweeted out.
It's a fair point as well.
You know, that's I'm a firm believer. Do I think the dudes who did are douchebags? Of course, yeah. I think, like, first of all, dude, there's porn. If you really want to see naked chicks, you can do it much easier than entering video.
What if
software.
I want to see Whoopi Goldberg naked? How do I do that?
Well, I mean, we all want to see that.
All right. Oh man, all right. I don't know, man. I don't know. I saw the silhouette challenge, but not enough. I'm gonna actually go and do some research.
And some video editing.
Yeah. Bring it in Premiere, see what we were working with. You know what I mean? Silhouette challenge, people. Let us know what your thoughts are. R.I.P. Chris Pratt. Why are people always fucking with Chris Pratt, man?
Everyone is mad. How many times has Chris Pratt been canceled?
This is number 4 or 7. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Poor man. Okay, so this is according to the Daily Beast. More Americans get their news from the British tabloid publication, the Daily Beast, than any other source. And it says, 2020 may be over, but the internet is intent on dragging its beef with Chris Pratt into the new year. Oh God, what a stupid little log line. Late Wednesday morning, Guardians of the Galaxy actor Chris Pratt began trending on Twitter under the hashtag RIP Chris Pratt, soon after a series of faked, racist, and sexist tweets from his Twitter account began circulating. Anything else?
So they were fake tweets? They weren't even real tweets. Sounds like.
I guess they were. I mean, I don't know. People got too much time on their hands.
There were a handful of tweets that he made. I hope that I have them here in front of me. Okay, there was a picture of a Bank of America pin with a label that said Made in China. And his tweet was, I feel like somebody smarter than me could make a joke about this. Let's deconstruct that one.
Okay, so what was the tweet?
there was a picture that he posted of a Bank of America pin with the label "Made in China." He posted, "I feel like somebody smarter than me could make a joke about this." Somebody dumb interpreted that as being racist.
That's what got him what got him canceled.
There's more, but I want to take it bit by bit. What do you think about that one?
That is not racist.
No,
in the least.
It's an observation.
It's an observation.
It's not even. I don't. No. Someone. That's just stupid.
It's pointing out irony. That's all it is. It's like, look how ironic this is.
It's exactly what it is. The joke is about the fact that it's a Bank of America pin that was made in China. This isn't a Wuhan flu, China virus kind of thing where they're like, it's completely innocuous. It's completely inoffensive. Somebody saw the word China, and in their mind, they thought it must be racist.
The same joke could have been made with a T-shirt with the American flag on it that says, and the tag says "Made in Mexico."
Yeah,
it's the same
point.
joke.
Yeah, 100%. And so that was one of them, and that one was revealed to be true. There were a couple of other ones that were just like, "I hate N-words," or you know what I mean, like something really insane.
Were fake stuff.
Yes, that people had went in and completely fabricated, and that's so easy to do. Look, if we're able to de-silhouette people. If we're able, I mean, like, technology's come a long ways. I can't just see DMs anymore and think like, oh my God, that's 100% concrete evidence, because I can make a spoof. I
think we've all fallen for some like fake tweets or stuff. I have before. I'm like, man, I can't believe the person said that, and I'll look at them like, oh, they did it.
And it's easy to do, you know. I mean, like, and we want to kind of believe things that reinforce our perception.
Well, and it's I mean, saying like the whole like we can see things that you can fake something that somebody would say. I mean, you know, fucking hate to get political, I guess, but of the past 4 years, people making like fake Trump posts, and it's like, well, he didn't actually say that. But yeah, but the point is, you could imagine him saying that. You can't imagine, as you know, as much as you could probably hate Chris Pratt for something, you really can't imagine him saying anything.
Yeah, like
crossing any line.
I can't picture Chris Pratt dropping the N-word.
I'm not the biggest fan of him, but no, I can't imagine him dropping the N-word.
No. Like he seems like a decent guy from the little bit I know about him. He doesn't seem like a bad guy. I know he was being canceled a while back for some church he went to, and then I don't know. I'm one of those people. I'm very much hey, live and let live, as long as you're not hurting anyone, no matter what you do, it ain't my business, type of person in general. Yeah. And if you're a good person, you're a good person.
I'm trying to do this right now in real time, and it's not working so well. But if you guys want to take your own celebrity to task and potentially get them canceled, visit spoofbox.com, and you can literally type in what you want the messages on the iPhone to say, and it creates exactly what you want. So yeah, the Chinese pin thing was pretty dumb. Then he did another one that basically said, it was a little further back, and I think it was a little bit more, I wouldn't even say damning, just something that, like, if you were super, super thin-skinned, maybe you could read into it as it being offensive or insensitive. But for the most part, I think there's a reason why Chris Pratt is being singled out. I know what my reasoning is. Do you have any theories for why Chris Pratt in particular may be a target for movie lovers and fans?
Why he's being canceled constantly? Why he's being targeted?
Yeah.
He's a Christian, moderately conservative guy in Hollywood. That's what I would guess.
What do you think, Tristan?
I mean, yeah, it's that. And I think that, and it's I don't know. I hate being negative, even though I'm negative about a lot of crap in society. But I think that when people try to cancel somebody, they're used to being successful. They're successful often, and so when they fail, they're like, I have to keep trying, And I mean, there's a few people that I'd be like, no, we should keep trying. Like your Chris Browns of the world.
Sure.
How's that dude still freaking famous? Yeah. Keep trying to cancel him. But I don't know. Some people just don't quite cross that line, I guess.
Okay, this is the one, and this is, to me, this is another good little observational humor. Hashtag Miss Universe. In a way, they all look like Miss Hungry.
Yeah,
That's legit. That's a good joke.
That's a joke.
that's pretty fair.
It's a decent
Also,
joke.
we shouldn't be counseling people over jokes, even bad jokes. Humor has to take risk. It just has to. That's the nature of humor. Sometimes they're going to land, sometimes they're not, and you can go, ooh, that's bad. But I'm a firm believer of we do have to take intent into the equation. A lot of people disagree. They're like, no, it doesn't matter what you intended. It does. Sometimes it's a teachable moment. Sometimes it's just thing go, oh man, it's kind of not the best, but other times if the intent is to hurt, that's an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
Not saying that like a racist joke isn't bad or a sexist joke isn't bad, but you can tell a racist or sexist joke and not be a racist or a sexist depending on how the intent was.
I agree. I do agree. I also feel like because of the culture shift in the last 10 years, like you look at that country singer who flat out, got caught using the N-word in a video the other day. It's like, he's a 21-year-old kid. I don't feel like his whole livelihood should be shattered for it, but you've got to be aware that this kind of language isn't tolerated anymore. And if you're okay dealing with the consequences of that, then I suppose it's a calculated risk that you're willing to take. However, I think to be oblivious to it is also to, like, let's be honest, and I don't mean to speak out of turn, but 10 years ago, there were a lot of marginalized groups that didn't really have the voice that they have now. And since they've had the opportunity to let it be heard, I think it's kind of shifted the culture in a way that, for better or worse, I think people have gotten more sensitive. But that said, it's just like, do you want to be singled out for being blank because of some off-the-cuff dumb thing that you said? And I gotta imagine in most cases the answer is no to that, but I agree with what you said, Caleb, about Chris Pratt, to bring it back around to that. I think that because he's a Christian in particular, they are basically the collective monolith that is the people who are singling him out have chosen to do so because they say he's a bigot because he's a Christian. Now, do Christians hold bigoted views? Some don't. I don't know that.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with specifically the exact church he goes to. I think the
right.
church he goes to has said specific things that are quite bigoted, and the fact that he goes there and I don't think he's spoken out against them. I think all he said is, "I go there, but I don't hold the same beliefs."
And it's one of those things. Okay, I think that's a very valid point, Tristan, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there are things on that website that pointed directly to, whatever. But I think as human beings, we have a tendency to cherry pick. And if I agree with 9 out of 10 of the things that you say, I'm going to hang out with you. Right?
I'm one
or
of those
do
people,
we have to agree on 100% of everything?
I can disagree with almost everything you say as long as you're not like a garbage person. I'm not talking like actual racist or something like that, because I'm married to a black woman. You're not going to fit in my life if you're an actual racist.
Yeah.
But like, I can agree with, I don't know. I'm one of those people, for better or worse. I'm so non-offended by most things. And I'm willing to like talk to people I completely disagree with on literally everything and don't think you're evil. Now, there are exceptions. Actual racist, actual sexist people. Those are entirely different things. I don't know much about Chris Pratt's church. I mean, I don't know enough about it. But
Yeah.
I agree. I think you can go to a church and disagree with some of the things. I don't know what they were said, so take it with a grain of salt.
I have gay friends that go to churches, and the Bible, has a couple of things that kind of allude to the fact that homosexuality might not be something that's godly. Now, when it's that kind of language, it's very, who the fuck knows what it's really saying. That said, people interpret it all sorts of different ways. It's been kind of conventional wisdom for a long time that it was a sin, but then again, aren't we all just sinners?
I'm a gluttonous pig is what I am.
I am not a Christian, by the way. I feel like I've taken this whole conversation in a direction that may imply...
I know this got really way too serious for the I thought a movie podcast was going to be today.
All right.
I don't know how we got onto any of this stuff.
Let's leave it be. Chris Pratt, I got your back, dude. I got your back. I thought your joke against the Chinese people was hilarious. And I mean that.
It was an okay joke.
It was fine. It wasn't about Chinese people, but it was all right. All right, what else is going on? Let's talk about some movies. I mean, like, what are we even doing here if we're not talking about movies? Random Andy's channel, thank you for the $2 super chat. Can't wait to hear what you think about Mechagodzilla. Eternals and Nomadland filmmaker Chloe Zhao tackling sci-fi western Dracula for Universal. That's a lot of things that I didn't think I ever would hear together in a sentence. Okay, so there's a Marvel movie called The Eternals that's coming out. Mm-hmm. The filmmaker behind that did a movie called Nomadland that had the lady from Fargo, one of the Coen brothers' wife in it. Anyone?
Yeah, I know what you mean. No, I don't know her name, but I know what you mean.
All right, Caleb, man, be better.
No, what movie are we talking about? Nomadland?
Yeah, but forget that though. Yes, but who's
lady
the
from
lady
Fargo?
Who's in Fargo?
I've never seen Fargo. That's one of my blind spots.
She's pregnant and it's cold.
Yes, that's the one. The one where there was the three billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
The main girl from that?
Yes.
I don't know her name. I know who you're talking about.
Somebody in the comment section, help a brother out. I'm dying over here.
Frances McDormand.
Thank you. Yes, Frances McDormand was in this movie. This doesn't have anything to do with the story.
This is not the scoop that everyone wants. Who's
Frances McDormand is going to be Dracula.
What? That is broke here on the fucking Movies Are Terrible live podcast. That's amazing. So the filmmaker Chloe Zhao is tackling a sci-fi western Dracula. I like sci-fi, I like westerns, I like Dracula, but that's just, it feels like a hat on a hat on a hat. Am I crazy? Caleb, what do you think about a sci-fi western take on the most adapted character in cinematic history?
It feels like we might actually get the Priest manhwa come to life.
What?
You know Priest, the movie Priest?
Uh-huh.
That's pretty much what I know, which the comic book was pretty much that.
Oh, I didn't see the movie Priest, but I'm familiar with it.
I purposely did not see it either.
I liked Priest.
Is it?
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Legion. I liked Legion.
I think they're pretty much the same.
I think they both have Paul Bettany.
Yeah, I think they're the same exact film, just with a different title, and no one noticed.
Yeah, it's one of those really blue movies like Underworld Evolution or some shit, if I recall correctly. Like, I just remember everything being that same shade of blue in Priest. But, yeah, as I mentioned, Dracula is literally the most adapted character in cinema history. He's had over 300 different adaptations, everything from, your Bram Stoker's Dracula to Blackula to
Blade Trinity.
To Blade Trinity. What is the one where Dracula fights the 7 samurais or ninjas or something?
I don't.
There's also a Batman versus, speaking of animated DC, the Batman versus Dracula is actually a pretty good film.
I've seen that.
I don't know this one.
Dracula
it's
versus,
actually pretty good.
Are they ninjas?
Dracula versus samurai?
Yeah.
I don't know this.
I don't know, but I'm sold on that.
Know.
If there's a movie with Dracula fighting samurai, why would I not watch this film?
Oh man, come on.
Dracula Untold. I don't know.
I hadn't seen that one. Oh, The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires is what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
1974 martial arts horror film.
Nope, haven't seen it.
We're mixing genres there too. I guess once you've done it so many times and you play it straight, like, who needs to see the story of Jonathan Harker and Mina and Dracula again? We know it. We're super familiar with it. But on the heels of Invisible Man, which was produced with Blumhouse and I believe Universal as well, I think they own the rights to it. We got something fresh. We got something unique. It had a science fiction spin on the classic horror movies. Caleb, did you ever get around to watching The Invisible Man?
No, I had no desire to see it.
Get your life in order.
I know.
I've heard it's horrible from everyone.
What?
No.
Like, from literally
Are you talking
everyone.
about Hollow Man?
No, I'm talking about the new one.
No.
No.
It's fantastic.
You two are literally the only two people I've heard say that this film is
fantastic. You need to get new friends.
Like, everyone else was like, this is a dumpster fire. I'll check it out maybe eventually. But
You need to.
as far as Dracula in a Western future, I think it's a cool idea. Maybe if it weren't Dracula, I think that's the issue.
That's a good point.
If it were vampires,
It is a bit
Western.
like it's kind of like the Jaws like 3000 joke
Elaborate.
of like, oh,
What
we're
is
just
that?
gonna like every like Family Guy and like Back to the Future always does like the Rocky 16. It's like we're just gonna keep using this character in movies he doesn't need to be in.
Yes, I agree. And he's such an iconic character that it's kind of hard to fuck with the lore like that. However, to Caleb's point, Near Dark is literally one of the best vampire movies out there, and it's a Western, full on.
But is it specifically a Dracula movie?
Not at all.
Yeah. I mean,
See,
one
I
of my
feel like-
favorite vampire movies is Daybreakers. Dracula's not in it.
Another good sci-fi movie.
Yep. I feel like that's the issue that people are going to run into. But that being said, the other side of that is we've seen this character a billion times. Who cares if one of them's in the future?
Yeah, that's actually a fair point. I really like this comment for some reason. I think it just jumped out to me. It said, "I want to suck your blood, partner."
But also it's the future.
Timmy. I appreciate. Yeah. I want to suck your plasma. I don't know. I got nothing.
Get on my hovercraft.
Yeah.
I
Giddy
think
up.
it can be done. As far as within the hands of a right director, I just don't know what this
Yeah, I'm sure
director's
it can be
capable
done.
of.
I can't picture it. I'm serious. Like we were like the last time I was on here, we talked about a Van Helsing thing, and I was like, yeah, make it like The Raid or like Assault on Precinct 13 or something. But I'm like, that's something I can picture. I genuinely can't picture Bram Stoker's Dracula. I can picture him in a Western. I can't picture it as a sci-fi Western.
All that's coming to my mind, and it's a terrible example, is Cowboys versus Aliens. Anyone?
A decent movie.
I
It's
love
decent.
Fair.
I was gonna say I love Cowboys versus
Oh
Aliens.
my
But like
God.
when I think
But-
sci-fi Western, I think like Firefly.
All right, for the record, everybody heard it. Caleb does not want to see Invisible Man because he says it's terrible, but he said that Cowboys versus Aliens is his favorite movie.
That's exactly what I said.
That's what I heard, bro.
No, you don't. Cowboys versus Aliens is like exactly what you expect from a film called Cowboys versus Aliens.
That's a fair point.
Anyone who went in thinking it was going to be a cinematic masterpiece, what the fuck were you thinking?
That's a fair point.
You know?
Patrick Stewart brought up 30 Days of Night. Does that fall into the Western category?
No.
No, I would not say.
Yeah.
It
I
like
guess
doesn't it take
technically
place
does
like
it.
it's
In
just
Alaska?
it's- yeah, it's just in Alaska during 30 Days of Night.
West of here.
That's all. it says.
Western's got parameters. If I don't see sand.
Look, bro, if it's west of the Mississippi, I don't care if it's California Dreamin' the movie. It is a Western.
Like true romance, Western.
Yes.
I like that. I like redefining that. Then, if so, Western might be the best genre of all time. If we change that,
La La Land, Western.
Yes.
I
Correct.
dig it. I think I like this new terminology.
You guys remember that? Heard it here first.
We're gonna just change the whole genre
All
right now.
right. I do. I feel like the Chris Pratt thing. It threw me out of orbit, man. I
The
feel
whole
bad for the
conversation,
man.
we got real like serious, and we've been doing this the last couple times I've been on. I don't know how it ends up like this.
It's the weird mesh of taking weird news and trying to find controversial shit and make it funny, but then like not wanting to tread
Offend.
into yes, not wanting to tread into off color territory.
Yeah, it's real hard. It's a hard balance.
Guys, you don't know how hard it is. It's very difficult talking on camera. Let's see what else is going on here. All roads lead back to the Snyder Cut. So, you guys heard that there's a new version of Justice League being released?
Yeah.
Oh no, I hadn't heard about this. This is a thing.
Yeah. Apparently, some guy named Zack Snyder is making a Justice League movie, and it is going to be rated R, which surprised no one. I
No
don't
one?
know. What do you want out of your R-rated Justice League movie, Tristan?
I don't want anything out of a Scott Snyder movie. Sorry, Scott Snyder's a good Snyder. I don't care. The whole thing, it's not even the cut. It's not a cut because he got to shoot new footage. The dude's got the power of over 9,000% hindsight, and he's going to make something that's going to appeal to somebody. Even like the people who, even if it sucks, the people who have been championing his cut for 4 years are going to like it because they've hyped it up so much in their brain that it's impossible for them not to like it. So what the fuck ever.
All right, I see you, man. I can definitely see that. I would also say, though, for me personally, and I can't speak for other people, but there's a thing about where, like, if your expectations get so high that potentially seeing it could be a letdown.
There's a psychological term for what I'm thinking of, where it's that you have championed something, you have put your trust in something so much, you have talked it up for years, you have convinced yourself in your mind that something will satisfy you, so now it is impossible for it not to. There's a psychological term for it. I can't think of what it is.
Well, then it must be true.
I'm putting my faith in it. I also don't have faith in him at all.
You see people digging their heels and definitely, champion something. And as someone who loves Zack Snyder, I think he's just an interesting director. And I love Batman versus Superman.
Filmmaker. Go ahead.
Not my favorite filmmaker, but I actually do think he's interesting. Really pumped for Army of the Dead.
I am too.
That looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, really pumped.
But you know what? It's because that falls into his personality. The superhero genre, even Watchmen, does not fall into Zack Snyder's psyche.
So incredible. Watchmen is like
it's fine. I love. It completely misses the point of the comic, but it's fine.
And I agree with you, Tristan. That it
like Zack Snyder is on record as to talking about Batman and Superman and calling them boring, saying, "Oh, there's no sex, there's no cussing, there's."
Oh, lost him.
Superman and Batman movie. He puts murder and some cussing, because he probably can't get away with sex, but
Caleb,
he doesn't understand them.
Does he understand comic book storytelling?
I think that's impossible to understand comic book storytelling because it's been redone 1,000 different times.
But it's not necessarily understanding the story. It's understanding characters that have been defined over almost a century.
I kind of go with Caleb on this one because
I
feel
they've been redefined and redefined.
Now, see, there's Elseworld stuff. If you're like, yeah, but I like Superman, but I want him to be a Russian. There's a story for that. I like Superman, but I want him to murder the Joker and send the world into a downward spiral. But that's injustice.
Isn't Kingdom Come? Yeah, right. Isn't Kingdom Come a Superman story where he's like ultimate villain?
Yeah, and that's an Elseworld story.
Okay.
That's fine.
I don't know about that.
So if the DCEU was titled DCEU Elseworlds, it wouldn't bother you then?
Fuck yeah.
DC Elseworld Universe.
Yeah.
I agree with what Tristan's saying about the Watchmen specifically, because you've got one writer telling an entire storyline, and then Zack Snyder taking that storyline, recontextualizing it in the way that he interpreted it. However, I feel like it missed the mark of the way that most people interpret it. However, if you listen to fucking Alan Moore, who is it?
Yes, I think it's him.
If you listen to his crazy antics as of the past couple of years, it's like I don't even know that he understood it the way that people interpreted it.
People come to him saying like, oh my God, Rorschach is the coolest character ever. And he's like, what? Do you understand that Rorschach is like a monster? He's a racist. He's everything horrible.
Yeah.
And people are like, Rorschach's cool. It's like, no, he's not supposed to be.
Right.
But you know what made him cool? Zack Snyder's movie.
I feel like with Alan Moore and specifically The Watchmen, I feel like is one of the most misunderstood books. And it's because the thing that Alan Moore is a crazy person, but that's what made Watchmen incredible is he was, an anarcho-communist outsider looking in. And so that thing literally just rips apart everyone from every viewpoint, every political leaning. And I feel like a lot of people watch it and they only see the parts that they want to see. And I know people who watch it and see an extremely conservative film, or read it conservative, which it's not. He was not a conservative, Alan Moore, by any stretch. I watch it, people see it as an extremely liberal film. It's kind of just ripping apart everything. And to me, that's what makes Watchmen such an incredible book. Like,
I think that's so fascinating to view things through such a polarizing lens that it has to be match up with some ideology, right? Like maybe there's more to the subtext, maybe there's more to the themes than the confines of what we perceive as left and right, you know? So I it's tough, man, because I'm not a Zack Snyder fan. I have not really
He is
liked...
a wonderful cinematographer.
I was... Absolutely, and that's what I was gonna touch on. To Caleb's point, he's a visually interesting storyteller, and if movies aren't a visual medium, then I'm not sure what they are. So I can't outright dismiss Zack Snyder as a filmmaker. I don't like the idea of just writing him off because he's made some very, very great looking sequences.
I mean, like,
his storytelling is trash to me.
His storytelling is trash to me as well. But like, if someone presented you with Deadpool from X-Men Origins Wolverine and said, this is Deadpool, this is how he will be presented in the movies forever, how angry would you be?
About as angry as I am at Marvel's portrayal of the Hulk.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's how
So now
I understand it. I'm not saying that as like a smart.
Take that with a murderous... Yeah, take that with murderous Batman and Superman, a Superman who is depressing, and his homebound, American-loving, good people parents were like, you don't need to save children. And then was like, this is how Superman will be portrayed forever now.
To touch on your point, because I 100% know where you're coming from, what about if the Ryan Reynolds-led Deadpool movie was the actual Deadpool that Rob Liefeld created, which is a substantially different character from the revisionist kind of 2008 take on the character that we all know and love, this very meta, humorous character. Like, he was basically Snake Eyes in the original.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean,
he's evolved over... He's evolved over the past few years. Like, you know, my favorite run was probably from about that 2008 time period where like Deadpool was like trying to join the Avengers, and then he was just trying to he wanted to be a hero. And then it eventually evolved into like Deadpool was just like, okay, I'm tired of living and I can't die, but I would like to keep trying to die now.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you bring that up. I used to love Deadpool, the original old school, just straight up Merc, not the Merc with a mouth, Deadpool. So for me as an old school comic book fan, I've never been a fan of what really made Deadpool what he is today. You know, the reason people care about Deadpool is the, you know, kind of the rebranding of him. So I understand that, but that kind of gets back to my original point. I feel like comic books in general are unfilmable because my version of Deadpool, if I were to direct a Deadpool movie, it wouldn't be the new modern Deadpool movie. And everyone would be pissed because they'd be like, that's not Deadpool. And I'm like, that's my Deadpool.
And I mean, this works as a microcosm of the larger struggles that filmmakers and storytellers deal with. We are three different people who have three vastly different interpretations on what the characters are and what they should be. And that to say that I still... Like, if I were going to write a Superman story, I think my Superman would be closer to Zack Snyder's than the previous iterations, just knowing myself and that I was not historically a Superman fan. From talking to you, Tristan, I almost feel like you are a Superman fan.
I am not the biggest Superman fan in the world, although I know what I like to see in my Superman. Which is, you know, your standard happy to save the world Superman.
Okay.
And I was very happy to see that at the end of Justice League. However, what didn't make it better was that there was no sort of character development into that. He simply snapped and was like, I want to save the world.
And that I do agree with, because I think that Justice League movie is a dumpster fire of a film. And that's why I am actually kind of excited for the Snyder Cut, even though I'm so sick of freaking hearing about it, that at this point I just don't care. But I don't know. It's definitely an interesting, you know, experiment, I guess.
I agree with that as well.
And it's okay to have multiple versions of characters. Like I said, I like the Elseworld stuff, and like, you know, my favorite Ninja Turtle stories right now are the darker stories where they did originate in the darker stories. But if you ask your standard person, what are the Ninja Turtles? You're going to say
Cowabunga, dude.
Cowabunga, dude. They eat pizza. They live in the sewer. Heck yeah. And I'm cool with that too. My favorite series was I'd rather watch the 2003 series than read Last Ronin, issue 2 that comes out in 2 weeks. So
the 2003 series is criminally underrated.
It's
that show.
Amazing.
As someone with a Ninja Turtle sleeve, I'm a giant Ninja Turtle fan, and I'm that person who I love the dark gritty stuff. And so when I saw an article writing about the 2014 one, and they said that Ninja Turtles is hard to be faithful because in order to make a faithful movie, you need to make a faithful adaptation of a bastardization of the material.
Mm-hmm.
Faithful adaptation of the bastardization of the material.
Yeah.
Faithful adaptation of the. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was 2 steps behind you, but I get it. So basically, in order to capture the spirit of what the fans want, you have to do the thing that was a complete
that is not
180
at all.
What
it should be.
Interesting. Yeah. I think it's a cool conversation. I kind of agree with you, Caleb, about it being and this doesn't happen often. I kind of agree with you that that it's an interesting thought experiment. And as somebody who I mentioned is not a big fan of Zack Snyder, this is the first time that anything like this has happened. I can't imagine it being worse
Does
than
it have
the
to be in
Joss
black
Whedon
and white?
version. Is it?
I'm pretty sure you may have the choice,
Okay,
but I know
give me
he's
the
also
choice.
I know he's also got a cut in black and white.
Well, I know he's also doing 4:3 or whatever aspect ratio.
Yeah, I don't know.
I forgot about all that, but it's coming back to me now. So basically, he wants you to be watching a 1960s television show with the sensibilities of a post 9/11 world.
He wants us to see his vision,
which I am all about.
I don't give a shit about.
I'm so about it. I love divisive, interesting films. Like, you know me, Jeremy. For me, the thing I hate more than anything is a made by committee blockbuster.
Yeah, I get it.
I would rather watch a dumpster fire of a film that's interesting. That's just how I am.
I want
to watch Invisible Man.
Exactly.
Huh? Is it an interesting film? Is it like an artistic film? Okay, I'll check it out.
I think so. I wanted to see the 4-hour cut of Zack Snyder doing a TikTok silhouette video, just
that's what you want to see.
Flipping the fucking helicopter, like you said earlier. I will bring that in. Color corrected. Oh, what's up? Ian Elliott Carter of The Controversy joining us here as we start to wrap things up. Oh, it looks like I'm back down to the timer again.
You got 4 minutes.
Holy crap. All right, what else is going on? Let's see. I guess I need to go ahead and announce the giveaway winner and shut it down until I subscribe to fucking Zoom. Thanks a lot, Zoom. I'm going to use Google Meets next time. That's all I need to do. I thought that because you guys could see me that this was a superior medium, and now I'm realizing I should just go back to the other.
Yeah, you definitely should. Or you should not be a cheap ass. One of the two.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the other. Thank you guys so much for stopping by to hang out. As I mentioned at the top of the show, and I don't think he is in here with us this evening, which is unfortunate, but we hope to see you back next time, is Renato Elenis. And you will be winning a digital code to one of those wonderful selections of movies that I have, courtesy of Brad Fedek, one of my Patreon supporters, and just a huge help to the community. So, Renato, whenever you see this video, do me a favor. Reach out to me at Jeremy G. Terrible. Jeremy G. Terrible. That's not my email address. Reach out to me at Jeremy B. Terrible on Twitter or Instagram. Just direct message me, and we will get you tightened up with that. Thank you very much for playing along, and we will be doing something like that again very soon. Shout out to all of the Patreon supporters. You guys have been a huge help and are going to be helping me pay for Zoom here in just a couple of days. So I appreciate you for that. Check out Teespring. There is a Terrible Apparel page. I'll post a link down in the description to that. Before we wrap it up, I did want to remind you guys, Martial Arts Film Freak. Links down in the description. I think he's one of my featured channels. I'm not sure. If not, I'm going to take care of that.
Definitely go sub.
Yes, 100%. And Caleb is going to be back on a regular basis, and I cannot wait, man. It's just not been the same without you,
And
my
I'm
bro.
gonna start doing Caleb's movie corner again with all the random weird shit that I watch.
Hell yeah, dude. Can't wait to see the next episode. So congratulations also, man. I'm super happy for you. You're moving on up to the east side. Finally found a piece of the pie.
I actually did move up to the east side too, which is kind of interesting.
Hey man, it's relative.
I'm not in the western
back.
anymore.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I'm Jeremy. And until next time, and on behalf of all of us, be terrible. And kind of an abrupt ending there, but yeah, I didn't